This is a speculative story presented by TOLAND Vlog for entertainment and thought-provoking purposes only. None of the content in this video has been independently verified or fact-checked. It is based on publicly available claims, theories, and personal accounts. Please view it as fiction unless proven otherwise. Among the many prophecies circulating online, one stands out with an eerie sense of precision. It comes from none other than Professor Kunio Yasue, a renowned theoretical physicist from Japan whose prediction has drawn widespread attention. Not only because of his credentials, but because of what and who he claims is behind it. Professor Yasue says he received top-secret intelligence from both a NASA official and a high-ranking U.S. government figure. According to them, in the early hours of July 5, 2025, at exactly 4:18 a.m. Japan time, a massive decaying satellite fragment will plummet from the sky and crash near the Philippine Sea, much like a meteor. The result? Catastrophe. But there's more. Professor Yasue insists that the detail about the satellite impact did not originate from NASA itself. Instead, the unnamed NASA contact only provided the date and time of the event. It was a separate U.S. government insider who told him the true magnitude of what was coming. A tsunami, powerful enough to sweep across Taiwan. And that's when things take an even darker turn. According to the professor, this disaster will act as the perfect trigger for the Chinese Communist Party. While Taiwan reels from the waves, the People's Liberation Army will seize the opportunity to invade. The timing is no coincidence. The impact is set for 4:18 a.m. Japan time on July 5th, which is 2:18 p.m. on July 4th in the United States. Independence Day, the most relaxed, celebratory time of year for America. Parades will have just ended. Bellies full, people will be winding down. And in that perfect storm of distraction, chaos will unfold half a world away. This entire timeline, Professor Yasue claims, was his own prediction based on the intelligence he pieced together. But the alleged conspiracy doesn't stop there. He alleges that under the Biden administration, there was a secret pact between the U.S. and China. If a natural disaster were to strike, say a meteor-triggered tsunami on July 5th, China would be allowed to move on Taiwan, while the U.S., conveniently caught off guard during a national holiday, would claim they simply didn't have time to respond. But now, with the Trump administration back in power, that covert deal, Yasu says, is null and void. Trump would never allow such betrayal. Still, the origins of the predicted disaster remain unclear. Is it truly an asteroid? Or perhaps something man-made masquerading as one? Could it be that what appears to be an act of God is actually a carefully engineered smokescreen for geopolitical gain? Or perhaps it was never a natural disaster to begin with? Professor Yasue even says that the tsunami was meant to reach Japan, too, but that outcome has been averted, supposedly due to the Trump administration dismantling the original plan. Because the plot has now been cancelled, Yasu believes he can speak openly about it. Before Trump's return to office, he dared not breathe a word. He also mentions the manga artist Tatsuki Ryo, who foresaw a similar catastrophe in her prophetic work, The Future I Saw. While NASA's source gave only the time and date, it was the government official who hinted at the true implications. When asked where people in Japan would be safe, Professor Yasue names only 3 places: Hokkaido, Okayama, and Yamanashi. Yet for all the chilling detail, he has never publicly revealed the exact sources of his information. No official statement from NASA or the U.S. government confirms these claims. There's nothing on any government website to verify it. And some pieces remain ambiguous. That doesn't stop people from wondering, is this merely a speculative theory? Or is it a terrifying truth hidden in plain sight, one that was narrowly stopped, but not entirely avoided? Did Donald Trump hint at something deeper? Not long ago, Donald Trump boldly claimed that God might have chosen him to save America, and possibly even the world. At the time, many dismissed it as typical political bravado. But now, in light of Professor Kunio Yasue's apocalyptic warning, some are asking, could this be what he meant? If Professor Yasue's extraordinary prediction is to be believed, then, in this version of history, it's not just America Trump might be saving, but millions of lives across East Asia. But who exactly is Professor Kunio Yasue? Let's take a look. The mysterious genius from Japan. Born in 1951 in Okayama Prefecture, Kunio Yasue began his academic journey at Tohoku University, later enrolling in Kyoto University's graduate school. There, he studied under none other than Hideki Yukawa, Japan's first Nobel laureate in physics. Eventually, Yasu inherited Yukawa's legacy, becoming the sole successor to the late physicist's groundbreaking elemental domain theory, even publishing a paper on it. With admiration for Professor Takahiko Takabayashi, a pioneer in particle physics, Yasu aimed to transfer to Nagoya University's graduate school. Despite the odds, over 10 applicants competing for just one spot, he passed. Miraculously. Over the next 2 years, before earning his PhD in science, Yasu published 8 papers in leading European and American scientific journals, a staggering feat for such a short period. Then, yet another miracle. Yasu was recruited by the University of Geneva in Switzerland, relocating to Europe to continue his work. The vision on the Autobahn. One day, while rushing to give a lecture, Yasu was driving his beloved Lancia on the German Autobahn, over 190 kilometers per hour, when something inexplicable happened. He entered what he described as a parasensory state, and in that altered awareness, a mathematical formula appeared, as if projected on the back of his forehead. That formula would later become known as the Yasu equation. The Vatican connection. After returning to Japan, Yasu worked in secret at the Toshiba Research Institute, though the project was ultimately shut down. Searching for his next path, fate intervened again. A priest he had befriended in Geneva introduced him to the Vatican. And through the Pope's influence, he was offered a teaching position at Notre Dame Seishan University, in his hometown of Akiyama. He would spend over 30 years there, deeply respected by colleagues and students alike. He shared a special bond with Sister Kazuko Watanabe, the university's president, calling her his honorary mother. Their friendship lasted until her passing in 2016. Trials of the body, awakening of the spirit. Driven by relentless discipline, he completed his monumental 8-volume series Introduction to Mathematical Physics Methods in just a year and a half. But soon after, his body began to fail. He lost hearing in his left ear, then was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer due to an intestinal blockage. He survived, he says, through prayer and devotion to the Virgin Mary, and made a pilgrimage to Lourdes in France to give thanks. A life of secrets, rituals, and spiritual wisdom. From the 1990s, Yasu grew close to Father Maria Leopold Estaneslo, a Spanish hermit who taught him a secret Christian art of revitalization, said to have been passed down from Christ himself. Yasu called this discipline Kankoji Shinpo, and opened a dojo in Okayama, blending it with Eikajutsu. Later, he expanded to Nagoya, Kobe, and Tokyo. In 2012, another door opened. He was initiated into the secret ritual of Shikuno Shinji, part of the ancient Hakuku Shinto tradition that had once been practiced by Japan's imperial family. This sacred rite is reserved for the crown prince during ascension to emperor. Yasu saw it as his mission to restore this lost tradition and pass it on to those he deemed worthy. It became his calling to awaken the spirit of Japan, the Professor Emeritus of many worlds. In March 2017, he retired from Notre Dame Seishan University and was later named Professor Emeritus. Today, he continues his work as an Professor Emeritus and remains a prolific author. He's unapologetically eccentric, an otaku of UFOs, extraterrestrial intelligence, and military secrets. His knowledge spans every martial art, and his wisdom blends science, religion, and philosophy into something wholly unique. And now, this same man has stepped forward with a warning of a catastrophic event. a satellite fragment crashing into the Philippine Sea, and a tsunami that could devastate Taiwan and unleash war. According to him, Donald Trump's return to power prevented a secret deal between the Biden administration and Chinese Communist Party. A deal that would have sacrificed Taiwan and Japan during America's 4th of July celebrations. So when Trump said God gave him a mission, was this what he meant?
Tsunami を起こして、で台湾に津波がバーッと来ると。でその時に中国の共産党の人民解放軍が台湾侵攻する。
乗じて
でそういう取り決めがバイデン政権と習近平政権の間で密約でも決まってた。
取り決めやったんですか。
なぜそのタイミングにしたかというと、
Subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Share it, because some stories are meant to be discovered together. And stay curious. I'll see you in the next chapter.